Hey guys, Antari again. So today we have battle versus xMrTrailx from YouTube and also from serebii Wi-Fi chatroom, and that's actually where I found this guy. He's an awesome battler, and he's got some nice videos on his channel, so I definitely recommend you guys to check him out if you got some spare time, and because he's got some cool war subbing videos, and he definitely deserves more sub than he already has. So yeah, we decided to do UU match as I said before, and when I saw his ambipom I decided to take a switch to my new rookie, which is my Arbok, and Arbok is totally cool poke. Because it's got some intimidate and switch arrow, so predicting a U-turn I go for a switch arrow, and actually fortunately for me he decided to bring in his Axie, so I trap his Axie with choice item and it's pretty useless for him now. So predicting a switch after he set up the Stealth Rocks, I go for a glare to trap with the power hacks, something which will enter the battlefield, and he decided to go for a Rosary Raid, which is kind of cool, but it still got this ability like Natural Cure, which will cure status condition when you switch off. So I go for Earthquake to do some free damage, and it turns out to be pretty awesome for me because I got a crit, and he puts my Arbok to sleep, and now he's pretty much forced to use rest to get some HP back and get rid of this power hacks. So my Arbok is still sleeping, and that's kind of sad, but he decided to actually take a switch into his Axie, and I got this one free turn of sleep. So I decided to bring in my Helios Volume 2, predicting some Psychic, which is super effective, and I predict well. So he decided to take a switch into his Rosary Raid again, so I go for a Confuse Raid to get the confusion status on everything which will enter the battlefield, and that's kind of safe move, I guess. So his Rosary Raid hit itself in this confusion, so I got the opportunity to Ice Beam it, and Ice Beam do crap damage because this is his specially defense trained Rosary Raid, and that's kind of sad because Ice Beam is super effective and it still deal less than half of his HP, so that's kind of sad. So I bring in my Arbok predicting some kind of poison type attack, slash bomb. So after that he decided to go for his Azumarill, and my Arbok is still sleeping, which is totally bad for me because I can do some free damage like Earthquake or something like that. So predicting some Aqua Jet, I go for my Gastrodon, and I was right. So now he's need to switch because this is his Bandit Azumarill. So I go for a Toxic to boost to the Toxic everything which will enter the battlefield, and I put to the Toxic his Axie, and now without the leftovers and with the poison, his Axie is pretty useless. So predicting some Psychic, I go for my Claydol, and actually he goes for a Toxic, which is kind of good because I save my Gastrodon for later. And on the switch I go for a Trick and a trap with the choice item, his ambipom, so now he needs to switch with this U-turn thing and do some damage to my Claydol. So I got the opportunity to set up my own Stealth Rocks, and that's kind of vital in this match because as you can see at the end it was pretty useful for me. So he goes for a Psychic, maybe he was predicting some switch into my Arbok, and I go for Explosion to take care of this Axie, and crit was pretty useless because my Explosion is pretty powerful even without it, so whatever. And he decided to bring in his next poke, Jinx, and here I was trying to overpredict him because most Jinx in these days are carrying a Nasty Plot, so I was predicting a Nasty Plot, but actually he goes for a Psychic, which is super effective, and that's kind of sad because I lost my Arbok, but Arbok is pretty cool even without it. So anyway, I go for my Azumarill because it's my Bandit Azumarill, and I'm still sure that it is able to take it down with Aqua Jet with just one hit, and I was sure, and I was right. So he decided to go for his Rosary Raid, and he misses his Sleep Powder, and that was totally insane because now I got the opportunity to finish it off with Aqua Jet, so I go for Aqua Jet, but he actually switched into his own Azumarill to save his Rosary Raid for later. So I bring in my Dunsparce, pretty much of a death fodder, and he goes for a superpower, and for now he's got some attack and defense drops, so I'm pretty sure that it isn't going to take me down with superpower or whatever else. So I bring in my Lantern, and he goes for his ambipom, and this ambipom turns out to be pretty bulky because it survived my Thunderbolt, and that's totally sad because now I need to switch to my Azumarill, predicting some U-turn, but he goes for a turn which is his stab and kind of powerful, and now the health of my Azumarill is pretty bad, so I go for Aqua Jet to finish off his ambipom. And after that he bring in his own ambipom, so I need to switch into my highest volume to just to get, you know, this attack and defense drop from the superpower. And I was right, he used superpower and take down my lantern, which is sad as always. So my next poke was Azumarill, and he decided to actually to take a switch into his Rosary, which is kind of weird because his Rosary was the only poke which will take down my Gastrodon, so that's kind of weird. But you know, whatever. And his next poke was his Azumarill, so I go for Aqua Jet because I'm trapped with this move, and he goes for his own Aqua Jet. So he take down my Azumarill. And my last poke was Gastrodon, so I decided to go for the save move, which is Stockpile, to you know, get my Gastrodon more bulkier. And after that he goes for Aqua Jet again, which is kind of weird. And here I was just praying that his last poke isn't, you know, just grass type or something like that, because if it was, I was screwed, totally screwed. So after that he decided to take a switch into his Moltres, and setting up xMrTrailx in this match was totally vital, because now his Moltres entered the battlefield with only half of his HP, and I finished off with Surf. So that was totally epic. And his last poke was Azumarill, so he goes for Double Edge, and the Double Edge recoil will take it down. So it was kind of suicide, but you know, great game, xMrTrailx, totally epic and awesome. We definitely need to do some rematch sometime, and comment, rate, subscribe guys. See ya guys later, peace dudes.